Okay, it's day 21, you beautiful people. It is time for a nice rest. My level 1s, it is a full rest day today, so you make sure that you rest up, you recover, you feel good. And level 2s, level 3s, we are going to be doing flexibility work. Now, super fun fact, flexibility is actually very good in helping prevent injuries. So the reason being is that your increased range of motion and pliability of your muscles means that it can stretch to a slightly better range, which means that a range that could have injured you before isn't going to quite injure you. So it's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. Make sure you warm up fully, get your water, get your towel, and let's get our stretch on. Okie dokie, so level 2s, the way this program works is we're doing 4 moves, repeating them, and then finishing with some seated work. Now the first move for us is tree pose. The stability work on the ankle is important here because it reduces injury on the Achilles, which I know from personal experience really sucks. So balance well, and if you need to just move the arm over instead of doing the full side bend, go for it. It is still valid work if you're balanced. Next, Warrior 1 pose gets a good side bend and contraction from our obliques. The static leg work here is good for the hips as well. Next, fold over for the hinge pose and standing forward fold. The hinge pose works the shoulders and doesn't go to our full range with the hips, whereas standing forward fold gets a real stretch out over the back and does have that more dynamic movement. The rotation of the shoulder should be done as best as possible for standing forward fold as well. Repeat these 4 moves, then get onto the floor for the seated forward press, flexing the back and stretching it out whilst also getting in some core work, and then do the fan pose. Now move your legs to within your range of motion for both of these. You can stretch them out slightly further once you've done a few reps and your body actually relaxes them slightly, but be cautious, don't overdo it, okay? If you want to repeat this playlist, feel free. My level 3s start with the overhead side bend to warm up our bodies and core for the similar movement for the tree pose. I'd like you to focus on balance, and if you can do the bend, go for it. As long as you keep up on your feet, that's the most important thing here, so it is acceptable to just move your arm over. Next is a great move, revolved crescent lunge pose. It gets some transverse movement with the isometric leg hold as well. You can use this to stretch your hips too, just ensure that you're stable when twisting. Next up is the hinge pose. With that good hip hinge movement, do not bend or hunch the back when coming over, try to keep it straight, then move your shoulders and use your other hand for balance if you can. Now use standing forward fold to dynamically move and stretch the hips and back as well. We then repeat tree pose for those ankle stability gains, and then we're going to fire off a Warrior 1 pose. This should feel easier, especially with the number of side bends we've performed so far. Bend and stretch to within your range of motion so you feel it on your sides. Next, drop to the floor, perform the fan pose. This can really stretch your legs, but only go to within your range of motion. Increase the stretch at the legs when you've performed a few reps if you can, but don't go too far. Finish this playlist with the Warrior 2 pose. Remember, point your leading foot out the same way you're facing to open up your hip and to get the most for your legs. This playlist can be repeated up to 2 additional times depending on your fatigue and fitness levels. So yeah, that's our flexibility work, that's our active recovery for the day. You can combo this with some really nice static stretches to make sure that you're feeling really good and get that real flexibility gains. I said earlier that increasing range of movement can help prevent injuries, and so can working through different planes of movement. Now, what are the different planes of movement? What do I keep mentioning? Well, that's today's Fit Fact. Now there are 3 different planes of movement in 3D movement. You have sagittal, you have frontal, and you have transverse. Now the plane is essentially like an invisible axis going through the body. So it's essentially splitting it into halves, and then we are moving along that plane, along that axis. So imagine if there's like a cut through the top of the head, and then you're moving side to side, or if it's like here, you're moving forward and back, okay? Or transverse is to the side anyway. Now look, for the planes themselves, frontal splits the body into front and back halves, and this means motion from side to side, i.e. you move side to side along that plane, as I said, and moves like side step are perfect examples. Sagittal splits the body into left and right and has forward and backwards motions, and also includes up and down along the plane, so that includes your squat and your boat pose. Transverse cuts the body into top and bottom, and therefore moving along that plane of motion means twisting movements like Russian twist and revolved crescent lunge pose. Now rather than just train on one plane, training on multiple means that you can use your body in different ways. It's good functional movement. It increases your range of motion in general, it increases your ability to prevent injuries, and it provides greater stability for your body as well. So it's a lot of good benefits, to be honest, and that's why I keep going on about it. It's a pretty important one, but it's something quite simple. I just wanted to make sure that you knew about it. But yeah, that's the Fit Fact for today, and that's the whole video, that's the whole day. So make sure you're feeling good. I hope you have something nutritious to eat. rest up, and if you've got any feedback, you let me know. Let me know in the comments, let me know on the Discord. Discord link is in the description. And yeah, awesome. I'm gonna see you later.